Hello, this is The Way of Fairness. My name is Stephen Childs. And I was just looking at a post on YouTube, Zelensky, Ukraine, and I was thinking about all the people that have died in that war. And what a tragedy it would be if they all died in vain. The Russian soldiers that don't want to be in the war that have been killed, and the Ukrainian people that didn't want the war to happen that have been killed. And at the root of it, it's unfairness. So if you look at the root of communism, the thing that caused communism was unfairness. And it stayed unfair. In fact, it probably became more unfair in some ways with Stalin killing his own people to unify them so that they could fight against people that are a threat to them. They perceive it as people are unfair to them. Now, the foundation of communism, this kind of tyrannical rule of communism, it's very unfair to its own people. You're forced into submission to the tyrant rulers in the Communist Party. And that's very similar to the tyrant rulers in the religions that are trying to conquer the world that brought about Marxism and communism. You have the Christian Crusades, you have the Inquisition, people tortured if they don't surrender to the way of Christianity as decreed by the rulers. And Christianity started with the decree of Constantine, a Roman ruler, and you had only certain ways to practice Christianity, otherwise you were in danger of being killed by the rulers of Christianity. They had witches burned at the stake. So it's unfairness. Somebody wants to rule other people. That's not fair. I don't want to be ruled by someone else. So I surrender to being ruled by fairness. I accept I have to be fair to everyone. I don't have to surrender to anything else, and I won't, because that's fair. And it's fair that we demand or bring about the fairness from other people that are being unfair to us. So the object is to stop the unfairness so that we don't have another Ukraine incident. It could happen with China. And they're not fair to their own people. It's better than it was. So there's been a moderation in the communist countries becoming more civil rights minded to their own people, somewhat. And this is going on while we're losing our civil rights in the USA to tyrannical minded political people. We have to practice their form of Christianity, and it's about one tribe of people. White nationalism, white Christian nationalism. And they don't respect the truth. They don't care about the truth. They just want to win the argument. And their followers don't care about the truth. They just want the election to be decreed Trump the winner because they have the power to do it. Threats of civil war. So we have all these people that are suffering horribly. We suffer horribly at our places of employment because of tyrannical gang type that sets itself up over the people. It always falls into a narcissistic type arrangement. And the people who try to stop this unfairness are the ones that get sent home because the corporation doesn't care about fairness. It only cares about making money. Who brought that about? Unfair politicians that are responsible for the creation of those laws. And that's not what we want. We want justice for all. So, because we're born into this insanity of unfairness, people aren't thinking straight. So, that's why if we can get people to see, look, we need to all be fair to each other, poverty will be on, because we're going to take care of each other. We're not going to allow people to be treated unfairly. We will stand up for all of the people. And all of the people will stand up for us to stop unfairness from happening. And so sanity will return to the politicians. They'll see the light of what's been going on because of unfairness. So it would just be tragic if we don't stop this unfairness that's causing horrible suffering in Ukraine and in Russia, the Russian soldiers. People born into this, they're hopeless, and sometimes people get the idea of be a part of this tyranny. That's like Trump supporters. They get hope and support from being a part of the tyrannical takeover of the USA. It's because they're born into this authoritarian unfairness. It was in their families, schools, churches. It's not democracy. It's authoritarianism. Somebody's the boss. You have to surrender to the boss of the family, of the school, of the religion. You have to surrender to the boss God in these religions. They're not democratic. So, if we can see the light, I'll use that metaphor again, if we can see the truth, that we need the actual truth. We're tired of this falsehood, these lies, and we want the truth being told. We don't want to be lied to, and we want everyone to be fair to us, and that's what the way of fairness is. So we can all unite forces, and we need to get people that have money and power to get on board with us with the way of fairness. If you want to be a hero, Musk, join the way of fairness. You can be a hero or you can be a zero by destroying Twitter and being selfish and thinking we're going to some other planet and all kinds of nonsense because you're hopeless, and so you might as well do that. Same thing happened to you, Musk. You were treated unfairly. So we forgive you. If you join us and stop being unfair to people, you're totally forgiven by us. This doesn't require a religious viewpoint. You can incorporate your own God into it, but let me tell you something. If your God's unfair, it's not going to be big enough, because the agreement, the unity of all that is bigger than your divisional God. This is logic. And the way of fairness is totally based on logic. When you think it through, you can see this is the only way for humans to be going into the future. Otherwise, we're destroying ourselves. Worse and worse. So anyway, I hope that benefited you. Share this message. And let's make this happen. Let's make the new world, the transition day, happen, where everyone agrees we're going to stop doing people wrong on this particular day. So it's fair to all the particular religions and governments. Everybody has to become fair the same day, at the same time. So we already have surrendered to being fair, and everybody else has to too. As a human, we have to surrender to the culture to get along. And this is exactly what we're talking about. Humans have always had a way to set up fairness in their tribes. That's what we're doing. Except now our tribe is the entire planet. Thank you.